Thought on vegans saying we can produce 100% of the cholesterol we need when looking it up. Some sources say 80%. I think the easiest reply when it comes to the vegans saying that is just look at their skin, just look at their bodies, just look at the breakdown of their tissue and all that. You know, are they getting enough? Because producing, saying that the body can produce quite a bit of cholesterol, that is true, the liver can, but it also actually needs precursors. And those precursors that actually provide you with the ability to produce cholesterol are basically animal-based primarily. One is saturated fat, which they don't get enough of. So, even if you're not taking in, this is why saturated fat increases cholesterol. Simple as that. Now, it can vary the amount of LDL. That's a different thing because that's just a boat. That's not cholesterol. Yeah. The cholesterol's inside the boat, and that boat that floats around, which is an ability to have a hydrophobic, because capacity to, so you're not mixing water with fats, fluids with fats. You're basically shipping this around in an LDL lipoprotein. So it's like a truck. Just think of it as a truck. Now, the amount of LDL lipoproteins can vary because it depends on your genetics. The ApoE in particular is one class of genes that regulate that. So you may end up having more circulating chylomicrons if you've got an ApoE of 2,2 in particular and less LDL, but you've still got circulating lipids, these lipoproteins that are moving around, moving energy. It's just in different boats. They got a different name. This is a stupidity. But if you take the totality of all these things, the energy is the same. And the amount of cholesterol moving around is more or less the same. It's just in a different vehicle. When you measure one vehicle due to genetics, that person will take up remnant chylomicrons more rapidly with a 4,4 and end up with more VLDL being exported and more LDL being produced. That's just because they've got a different energy management system. But that doesn't mean there's a problem. If it's native LDL, not a problem because it's not oxidized. Just wanted to cover that point as well because that's bullshit that they also talk about. But basically, you do need the precursors to produce enough cholesterol. You do need saturated fats, and they don't get enough saturated fats. So they will produce far less, and they will have problems in that regard. And we can see it. It's obviously how their tissue breaks down and all that. Your tissue nearly is half a weight in cholesterol or the membranes of your cells. So it's very essential for the body. So if you're not getting enough, you can't produce sex hormones and all sorts of things. And that's why their hormones in the toilet, their skin's ragged, and their bodies are falling apart at young ages. Tells you a lot about that they're not getting the precursor. So even if you're not eating cholesterol, you still need to be eating those things that will produce, that the body can use to turn into cholesterol. And to a large extent, saturated fats actually produce more. Now, the body can, in desperation, convert those some of the sugars into saturated fats, palmitate in particular, and then use that to basically produce cholesterol. But it's less efficient, and so produces much less because there's only so much energy that a vagoon can actually generate to do a whole lot of functions of just staying alive, let alone producing a lot of enzymes to do a lot of other functions. So there is a level. So this is the difference between our diet. We eat a lot of these sort of stuff, so we need less enzymes to do and less cofactors. That means our micronutrient requirements go down as well. So that's why the RDAs are not even compatible to people like us. We get more, but we need less. They get less and they need more, So that tells you everything about a vagoonerized approach. And we see it, how they most of them fail up to 5 years. And most of the doctors and all that never tell them that, the vagoonerized doctors. They're supplementing heavily and injecting themselves with all sorts of things to cover their deficiencies so they can cover their bullshit. It's just ridiculous. While their supporters out there just brain dead and just listen to the propaganda and think they can get it from food. It's just absolute moronic.